is Roula and Ryan's Celebrity Scoop
on KRBE.
All right, a couple things I want to remind you of. That it is National Women's History Month, and in case you've missed this, instead of spotlighting National Women in History, we are spotlighting the fabulous women of the Roula and Ryan Show and KRBE audience. So if there's somebody in your life that is fantastic and you would like to put them in the spotlight, whether you're related to them, you work with them, they inspire you, they've helped you out, you know they work hard, they're just a genuinely, God, I can't say that word, genuinely good human that needs a great spotlight. We want you to call our listener line at 713-278-VENT. That's 8368 on your phone at 8:20 every morning and 3:35 in the afternoons. We put that spotlight out there of the person you called us about, so it's pretty fantastic. Also, we've got Madonna tickets today. Madonna. She's going to be here at the Toyota Center at the end of the month, March the 28th. Kevin, did the person that lives in Vegas ever text us back and tell us what time she came out?
No, they did not. However, someone indicated this morning that Madonna brought Kylie Minogue on stage in L.A. last night.
Really?
Which we love Kylie as well. I doubt that's happening here. Maybe she'll bring Slim Thug on or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of people who didn't go to Jelly Roll at the rodeo thought that maybe Jelly Roll would have brought out somebody from the H-Town rap scene, but it was Cody Johnson instead, and I'm thinking anybody from the H-Town rap scene might be waiting to be the big surprise from Bun B's night. Because you can imagine if you want to call Paul Wall, he'd probably be like, "Oh, Jelly Roll, that's really fun, but
sorry,
I'm already going to be there a couple days later. Can't do it together."
Did you see Bun B talk about that yesterday?
I did not see
what?
Him and Jelly Roll are buddies. They've been buddies for a long time.
Really?
Bun B's like, he's like, I wanted him to join me last year on stage, but then look at. He didn't need me.
No.
He got his whole night. He didn't have to be part of something.
Right.
He was something.
And he played his biggest crowd of all time.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Last night was Luke Bryan, and for anybody who went to that show, you definitely saw him struggling because he was under the weather. I was hanging out with some of our friends from Raising Cane's, and so you know when you're talking to your friends and the show is on, you can't hear everything because you just can't be listening to two things at once. So I missed where he told everyone he was under the weather, but I know he told everyone he was under the weather because you could tell he was coughing, he was hoarse, and in the comments...
He was a horse?
He was hoarse. And in the comments after the show was over, a lot of people were saying, like, some people were thanking him for powering through even though he wasn't feeling well. One person's comment was, "Y'all should have let him off the hook. Poor thing was really
Do you know people would have been upset if they drove all the way into the rodeo, got horrible traffic?
Then you wouldn't get a future.
There.
Could have had a future George Strait.
Exactly. That's how George Strait was born, Ryan Chase. It was Eddie Rabbit got sick. And the night he was supposed to play the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and they scrambled. What are we going to get? Who's going to sing for Eddie Rabbit? Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Let's get this guy named George Strait. He's been making the rounds in these country bars. Let's just get him out there. And now he is the king of the rodeo forever.
The rodeo was
Where's
not
Roger
on that.
Rabbit now?
Eddie Rabbit. He passed away.
He died.
He has passed away.
Oh, God.
But he had a song called I Love a Rainy
Really
Night.
tragic.
Sensitive man.
He didn't die that night, but he died later.
that actually killed him, that virus that he got that night.
No, it did not. But that's how he got George Strait, from like emergencies.
It
Stars
was also
were
a
born.
different era, though. I mean, it was a very different era. The rodeo was not on the level that it is now.
Well, didn't that happen a couple of years ago? Somebody with their rodeo knowledge at 37530. I feel like that happened a couple of years ago where somebody had to stand in. And it was like a comparable, like up-and-comer country star, but I don't remember exactly who that was. But the most famous, hey, I'll fill in for you and become a superstar bigger than you, is George Strait.
But Elvis performed there back in the day, so maybe they were big. Elvis was the biggest star. It'd be like Beyonce.
I mean, you can
now.
Google
Totally.
like
She has
rodeo
done.
lineups from like 20 years ago, and
Or
it's
40 years ago. 20 years ago is height of the 90s country.
Yeah.
Amazingness.
But yeah,
Garth
you're right.
Brooks,
Like
George
30 or 40
Strait,
years
Alan
ago.
Jackson.
We've been on 21 years. So.
Yeah.
Yes. From like 60 years ago, you can Google those. And actually, if you go to the second floor of NRG Center, so we're going off on a tangent on the rodeo. If you go to the second floor, they've got these shadow box displays in the hallways of the second floor of the NRG Center. And it's got the old programs and the old tickets of the old lineups from the early days. Dolly Parton was on there when she was up and coming, and Elvis, like Eric said. So anyway, Eric, this story focuses on you because I feel like if anybody in this room would even think to buy this, it'd probably be you.
Something stupid then.
No, it's something in
Absolutely.
Illinois.
And then Sam will get
Something that
in
nobody
like
needs.
2 months.
Yes, because
Love
actually
it.
Eric is known to buy things that in 2 months Sam is waiting for him to drop off at her house.
Like that new treadmill you just got.
No, that one's staying for
You're
at least-
eyeing that one?
For a few months.
Not really, but if I plant a seed in his head,
Yeah, okay.
and then he's like, "Oh, Sam, you want this?"
He's like, this takes up too much
cool.
space in my house.
I learned
Let me
now
just
if
get rid of
you,
it.
if you see someone and you comment on their stuff and say, "I like that," chances are they might give it to you.
They're
True
laying the
story.
groundwork.
True story. My husband's biggest regret.
Could be enthusiasm, they did
Still,
that.
my husband's biggest regret. He was in an airport at a bar waiting for a flight. This guy was sitting next to him. My husband's a watch guy. He knows names of watches that we don't know. Names of watches that cost like $60,000 to $100,000. We don't know.
God.
This guy sitting next to him was wearing one of these crazy expensive watches, like $100,000+ watch. Tasso notices the watch because he knows watches. He goes, "Wow, that's really nice. Blah blah blah. You're wearing." And the guy takes it up. He goes, "Here, you want it?" Yeah, I can just give it to you because it's. I have a lot of these. I have a lot of watches.
That was
You
on
can have
Curb
it.
Your Enthusiasm.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And he
if you
didn't
ask
take
somebody,
it.
you'll get it.
He didn't take it because he
love
couldn't
that.
feel right about taking like a 6-figure watch from a stranger. And he said, "Last chance."
I'd be worried that it was
And
a
so he
setup.
didn't take it, and he still regrets it because the guy said, "In my culture, if somebody comments that they like something, you give it to them."
Oh, no.
Hope you don't say anything about their wife.
Like, your wife is really
that.
stunning.
Anyway, so here's the story. Evansville, Illinois. How far is that from where you grew up, Eric?
That was more up, maybe an hour and 10.
Well, there's a house there you
Something
can
was
buy for $225,000. That is the house used for the exterior shots on Roseanne and
How
the
much?
Connors.
Ugh.
Why would you want that
$225,000.
place?
It's 4 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms. It's not in Lanford, Illinois. There's no Lanford. They're asking $225,000 to have the actual house that plays the Roseanne.
Wow.
All they ever did was take a picture of that house for the exterior. They
It's the
didn't
same with
film
every
it.
TV show.
Yeah.
Friends. Okay, say that with every TV show, Ryan. The Friends building does
Yeah.
not actually have Monica's apartment inside.
What are the other houses around there? Because that's worth.
I
'cause
don't
that's
know.
got some celebrityism to it.
Right.
Like 50,000?
If that's
Yeah.
got celebrity weight to it at $225,000, and doesn't say how much acreage or lot it's sitting on, it's just this, And,
think about it,
also,
Eric.
the Roseanne show did not make it look like anything nice inside. It was all real drab and just like
No,
got
that's
the
what-
Afghan on the couch. It's just, middle America,
Illinois.
Illinois.
That's what it looked like back
Right?
then.
So,
White trash,
anyway,
though.
that's up for grabs. I'm curious.
Yeah, you might want to do a little research on the neighborhood. It's just like the Shameless house. Remember?
Yeah, you don't want that.
I went there, and it's like that was like one of the most dangerous neighborhoods on earth.
Is that right?
It was. I felt a little unsafe when I went there. Yeah.
Let me go
See,
to.
Evansville's Evansville, Illinois?
That's
Yeah.
what it says.
Well, that's
Evansville,
way down
Illinois.
there. That's not even close to Chicago. That's near St. Louis.
Is it
Is
really
it?
your favorite state?
Yeah, ugh.
Close to Missouri,
That's why it's so
as
cheap.
you call it, Missouri.
There's nothing there. Look at-
Missouri.
There's St. Louis. That's way
Interesting
down
they
there.
use that random house. Somebody maybe from the set lived there when they were a kid, and they said, "Hey, take a use this picture of my grandma's
So
house."
maybe they went to there's a school called Southern Illinois, Carbondale, Illinois. Maybe they lived there, went to school there because it's like 40 minutes
and
away.
use that picture.
Yeah.
Well, TV shows, movies, whatever we see that we get hooked onto, they become like tourist stops, right? Remember when Full House, the houses, the painted ladies of Full House in San Francisco, the real people that live there have to put signs out front like, "Oh my God, do not ring the bell, do not disturb us at off hours," because people all day long still will go there and take pictures of the Full House.
On Bel Air and Stellink, we just talked about it a few weeks ago. When my sister and brother-in-law were here, he took a photo in front of Dr. No's place, the fat show. What is it called? What's it called? My Fat Life.
600-pound life.
My
Yeah.
600-pound
I
life.
forget how
Fat show. That
Oh,
fat
really,
show.
Eric?
I can't remember the name of
Really,
it.
Eric?
Good name, though.
Welcome
That's
to
what
a
it's
new
called.
episode of That Fat
Show
Show.
about
Yeah.
weight loss surgery.
Weight loss.
Moving on, let me
He's a
change.
Persian guy,
Found
too.
his house.
No, it's his business.
Oh, his business.
The one that they walk
sorry.
into and they have
Yeah.
the sign and
Got
stuff.
it. I was like,
It's kind of right
what?
by that Chinese buffet.
Look at the shiny thing over here, Eric. You know, the Oscars are on this weekend. Just trying to get you away from that comment you made.
I can't remember the name of it.
The Oscars are this weekend, and the best Oscar-winning movies for Best Picture. There have been a lot of stinkers in the past where everyone's like, really, what the hell is this movie about? Or no one's ever going to remember the name of this movie. Who cares about that movie? There are a lot of movies on this list that I wonder in 2024, how many people think, I should have my high school kids watch this movie because they should know about these iconic movies. Or like, would you say that? Because of the top movies that ever won the Best Picture, the best ones are Casablanca from 1942
It's not very good.
Never seen
When
it.
you watch it,
I had to watch it
you
at
get
U of
caught up
H
in it. Yeah,
for film class. I never watched it outside
I've never
of that.
seen it.
No? Wow.
No.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Never saw
Nest.
That's
1975.
a great movie.
Never
Yeah.
saw that either.
Yeah, that's good. That's Stanley Kubrick. Jack Nicholson's in it.
The Silence of the Lambs. Clarice.
Solid.
That's good.
Godfather Part 2.
Why
Awesome.
just part 2?
Yeah, why not one or
and
three?
Because number one's probably number one.
Part two is actually a prequel and a sequel.
Yep.
So was it number 3 people didn't like?
Yes.
3 was a
Okay.
piece of crap.
Schindler's List from 1993 is number 2 on this list of best picture winners. Makes
Yeah.
sense? Best picture winners.
Yeah.
And it should
Still
be
never saw
Saving
that.
Private Ryan. That should have won and should be on the
I
Oh,
know.
I know. That
I
makes me
know.
so mad.
The Godfather number 1 is number 1 on the list, Eric.
See?
There
I knew
you
it
go.
had to be
Yeah.
because
But other movies that people forget about, Rain Man from 1988 is on the list.
That's a great movie.
Tom
saw
Cruise
parts of that one.
and Dustin Hoffman, Braveheart from 95, Platoon from 86, The Departed from 2006.
and that one.
Yeah. Unforgiven from 92. I never saw that. It was a cowboy
Oh,
movie.
yeah, that's really good. Clint Eastwood.
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
Sound
Is that
of
where the
Music.
song came from?
No, that's not the Metallica song.
Oh, okay.
Around the same time, though.
Oh, was
I
it
thought
really?
So.
Well, Metallica released that song in 1990, and that movie came out 2 years later.
The Sound of Music, Titanic, Gladiator, and Rocky are also amongst the best picture winners.
I don't think I've ever seen Rocky.
The first one?
Like, I grew up with, like, Rocky 3 and 4.
I watched the
Mr.
original
T
when I
and
moved to Philadelphia
Russian guy.
because it's kind of like something you do. Nobody makes you do it. You just do it because you're like, I live here now, and
Yeah.
there's a statue of him
Yep.
at the museum. I should watch the first
You
one.
should watch that
especially because I would
Stallone.
drive through those areas
How
where
was
he's
it?
running. It was good, but it's spoiler alert from 1976. He doesn't win.
That's what makes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't win the first movie.
But you should watch that Stallone documentary because, he made that happen. That movie happened. And, here's a guy who was, really not
He wrote
known.
it and he directed it, didn't
Yeah.
he? He wrote it and
Yeah.
he directed it.
His
So he's
best
up for
friend.
actor
See, his best friend is Henry Winkler.
in real life right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two are like best buds.
Because they performed on a movie together before Rocky came out. They were in a small movie called The Lords of Flatbush, and that
don't
was
know.
that was like over 50
he
years
was a
ago.
coach in Waterboy. Sam, he had the
got it,
tattoo
thank you.
on
Yeah,
his
He had
butt.
Roy Orbison on his butt.
Oh, wait. She didn't know who the Fonz was?
No.
No,
I know Fonz.
He's also in
but
Barry.
I didn't know his
You never saw
first.
Barry.
Yeah, Barry
his
was so good.
legit
Barry,
name.
he was awesome in
Yeah,
that.
Henry Winkler.
Thanks.
And what's interesting about our pop culture, Sam, in the I guess it was in the 60s or 70s. When was Happy Days on?
Happy
it was
Days-
based on being in it was set in the 50s.
It was set in the 50s. It came out
In the
50
70s,
years
I
ago,
think?
1974. It just celebrated
Okay.
its 50th anniversary.
And Henry Winkler's character was like the real badass guy.
I remember seeing. Yeah.
he was
his
the
name was
ladies'
the
man.
Fonz,
He
right.
was,
But if you think about it, like that, the way they portrayed him and who he was would have never gotten the badass guy role in like the last 10 years.
But the big success story is not him. I think it's Ron Howard.
Yeah, Ron Howard, who was the main character of Happy Days, has gone on to have so
Huge director,
much success and
production
Academy Award
film company.
nominations, and his wife is Dallas Bryce Howard from
That's
The
not his
Help.
wife, that's his
I'm
daughter.
sorry, his daughter.
That'd be really gross.
Sorry, I mean the wife.
Dallas
the
Bryce
daughter.
Howard.
Dallas Bryce Howard is his daughter. She was in Jurassic World. She was in The Help. She played the really mean girl in The Help.
Okay.
yes.
Eats the
Yes.
pie.
That eats the pie.
Yeah,
There's a lot of Mandalorian
Eat my-
stuff.
Mandalorian
She
stuff.
directs Mandalorian episodes.
Right.
Oh, wow.
I guess I was thinking wife because in the storyline of when he left that show, he leave to get married or something.
Yeah,
Got
he
married.
did not make it to
And then,
the end of that
and
show.
people were like, "Oh, okay." The show kept going on, but Ron Howard became such a giant success. I mean, if you could do a Ron Howard movie, you made it as an actor.
Did he do Splash?
I don't remember if he was
This is a mermaid movie. The
may have
girl,
been one
when
of
she
his
got
early
wet,
movies.
She turned back into a mermaid.
Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks.
What? I don't remember.
So
Yeah.
she-
You remember
so-
Splash,
Eye
Kev?
rolling.
I know.
So
I'm
she-
surprised they didn't
That
redo it
sounds
yet.
terrible.
Have they redone Splash? I gotta look
Tom
that up.
Hanks, it was John
Daryl
Candy was in it, Daryl Hannah. Hey, wait, if she got wet, so if he took her to dinner and she drank a glass of water, she'd grow
No,
her tail
that's
back.
not getting wet. That's ingesting water.
Yeah, getting wet.
Oh, on the
Getting
So
wet.
is it like
outside
rain?
Like
And
she
you've
was in the
seen that movie,
bathtub and
Ryan.
she,
I
like,
remember the bathtub scene.
yeah, she had
yeah.
the
But
But the
flipper
opening scene as a little boy, I remember watching on, and it was like
because she's
naked
topless. Yeah,
in a PG movie.
Whoa.
I'm like, what's this part for?
You're like, I like mermaids now.
Yeah, there's no seashells.
It came out in 1984, and I looked to see if there's going to be a remake or if there was one.
No,
Disney's
I'm sure there won't be.
Splash remake Moving Ahead. That was in 2023.
but Ron Howard had a career
At
his
some point, they
entire
said Channing
life.
Tatum was going to be
especially
in
all
the
the
remake.
kids. My kids love those. What's the Australian show with the mermaids?
Oh, yes. My
Oh,
kids watch that too.
Aquamarine?
No,
That
no.
one was
That movie
big.
that
It's
came
called
out.
Mermaids of something.
I know.
It's on Netflix.
Faith watched that when she was a kid.
All
Right?
those mermaids, though. There's like
Yeah.
4 of them from Australia. They all made a wish in a cave or something.
Yes.
And
My
they
daughter
came-
watched that like for years. She watched that.
I didn't watch that. I just saw it. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Faith watched that. Oh
Well, the
my
Academy
God.
Awards are happening on Sunday, and Oppenheimer's probably going to win.
Yeah.
And that's all.
Kevin's going to watch that movie this weekend.
Are you really, Kev?
Oppenheimer. Probably. I haven't seen it yet.
You want to do a Monday morning movie review from Oppenheimer?
I've seen the two top nominees, The Flowers of the Killer Moon and Oppenheimer, and I much preferred Flowers of the Killer Moon. Oppenheimer was just, man,
Oppenheimer,
how
I
can
think,
you
has
make
the
it
momentum.
something
It's
so
probably
important be so boring?
That's why I don't watch it yet, because your recommendation, you said it was boring, so I'm like, yep, I don't want to
So
watch it.
stretched out, yeah.
713-390-KRBE. It's Friday, guys. Open phones Friday. Call us up. Lines are open just for you next on the Roula and Ryan Show.
104.1. Back to the Roula and Ryan Show.
It is Open Phone Friday, 713-390-KRBE. That is the number to call.
It's your moment to be on the Roula and Ryan Show. Tell us whatever it is you want to tell us. And I think a familiar face is on the phone to us because we just met this person here when she won a prize. Elizabeth is on the phone, and y'all will know who she was when she starts telling us about it. Hi, Elizabeth.
Are you, Christina?
No,
Oh, that's nice. Hi. Tell everyone how you saw us.
morning.
Was it last week or was it already 2 weeks ago? I feel like time has flown.
No, it was Friday. Yeah, it was
1 week
Friday.
ago. So
Yeah.
what were you up here for, Elizabeth?
I was here to pick up I was there to pick up my prize. I'm the microwave door secret sound winner.
Oh, yeah.
$208. Remember she met us downstairs?
That was last Friday?
Already,
Yeah.
no, already. I feel like it was longer than
I
that.
thought it was like a month ago.
Yeah. And
How long has this week been?
when we saw Elizabeth, she gave us, I remember you mentioned something about a specific line of work, and I think you texted about it a couple days ago. Tell everyone what you want your message to be.
My message is for people to be careful trying to cut off or get in front of 18-wheelers. Just because, they weigh, when they're loaded, they weigh 80,000 pounds. So they're not able to brake like a normal car. And most of them are taught to just keep driving. So they're going to hit you.
And how do you
If
know
you cut
this,
them off.
Elizabeth? How do you know this?
Because my significant other has a trucking company. And they know if they brake, they run the risk of jackknifing, which is
Far worse.
probably worse for them.
A
just
jackknife
be
means
careful.
the load will come unhooked from the front part of the 18-wheeler, and then you see that all the time. It's like a 5-hour
Did she tell
shutdown
a
of a
story?
freeway when the thing jackknifed.
Did she say something about somebody jackknifed on a bridge or something?
Oh, my.
Yes, he was coming off of the Ship Channel Bridge, and somebody cut the driver off, and he hit his brakes, and he jackknifed, and it, the trailer was in front. It was like a check mark. It was like it folded forward. So, it's very dangerous. And it's very, it's traumatic for both people involved. So
Especially with liquid in there. That liquid in there, it's swishing around,
Yes.
and it really
Ooh,
pushes
yeah.
you.
And
yes, they haul gasoline. So
Elizabeth, when you told us that, I have already repeated that to my kids and to my niece who just started driving to explain to them when we were on the freeway. And then yesterday I was on 610, like on the east side. And it was real, at 610 anytime. I don't care what time of day. In Houston, Texas, 610's got problems, right?
Always bad.
But it was starting to
time.
stack up because it was around like 4 o'clock. It was starting to stack up, and there was an 18-wheeler in front of us. And I moved over to the right lane so I could see, like now that I'm in the right lane, I can see what's happening
In front
in
of
the
you.
left lane. And
Yes.
this car totally cut off the 18-wheeler, and he wails on his horn. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I was telling you about, guys. Remember I told you I met that listener who told us about 18-wheelers? I mean, so, your message has
The problem
stuck.
is these kids,
Yes.
'cause my daughter is 15, she's going through all the tests and that, they say, you got to leave like 4 seconds space.
Right.
And Problem is, in this city, if you leave a space, somebody's
Somebody's
going to
gonna
go
get in
up and they
there.
get in there.
Squeeze
really
in
fast.
there.
People are just jerks. So I'm like, maybe I should put like one of those student driver stickers on your car.
She's going to hate that.
Oh,
But it's
she would
true.
hate that.
For us as parents, like, people should know that you're a student.
That'd be
driver.
good if we all had one.
But it helps, I think, because it does help when I get mad at someone. I see that, I go, oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you
they're
don't want to
new.
stress
They're
them
new.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you are ahead, of course, you go to drlaw.com.
Yep, that's called. That's 833-PUSH-WIN. That's the number.
There you go.
The battling endorsement twins
The
here.
other thing that I did see yesterday
they're both good
too,
peeps. They're all
which
good.
I like, is a car. This is a big truck. It was a box truck, and it said, "If you can't see my mirrors, I can't see you."
Yep.
And I think that is very important because not everybody thinks about that. You could be driving for 15 years and you didn't think about that. So I like that they literally say in a big yellow sticker with red letters, "If you can't see my mirrors, I cannot see you." Because my daughter said does that mean he can't see us right now? I go, no, he cannot see us right now because I can't see his mirrors.
Yep.
That's the most
But to Eric's
terrifying
point,
thing.
I couldn't get far away from him because someone's going to cut me off and get right behind him.
When you're in the fast lane and you're right up against that medium, and they're merging over and they don't see you and you're like, there's nowhere to go. You feel like you're going to be squished to death.
My wife always freaks out when the semis is on the left and the right and you're in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
Or just
I
on the
won't do
right,
that.
she hates.
yeah.
I won't do it.
I just don't worry about it. I'm like, whatever.
And if I do, you got to speed through them.
Yeah, you go past it. But then she'll do that thing put her hand up. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah. You got to stop doing the gasp. The gasp is the most dangerous thing behind the wheel.
I drive with her and she's terrible, slow, I'm like, you're driving like a grandma. Come on.
Note
Speed going.
Note to every spouse out there,
Two
this
James
never
on Eric
helped.
this hour.
This never helped any driver.
Nope.
It makes you feel better, though.
It does.
I understand that.
Doesn't make the driver feel better.
Makes you feel better.
Well, it's like if they.
Or
I mean,
then
if
they
you're
grab
genuinely
onto
not scared or
the
something.
handle.
Oh, crap handle.
yeah.
The
I
handles.
always look over
The door handle.
at my mom because
Do
my
you-
mom's in town and she's not used to the freeways here. Because I mean, obviously Pennsylvania is a big state, but it's not anything like Texas highways. And so I always sometimes will look over to see if she's freaking out.
Like Route 80, when I grew up on that,
Oh.
I think the speed limit was 55.
Oh my
Like,
god,
55?
Isn't it 95?
We do
here?
that on Westheimer here.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
Guess what? There were fewer fatalities back then. They have proven in every single study, every time that they make the speed faster, more people
Really?
die.
Now, Eric, do you do the dad thing when your kid's in the car? Do you put your arm over top of them when you brake
Yeah,
real hard?
as if it's going to save them the arm.
this will help.
Safety.
Oh yeah.
Was it yesterday? I remember I had to make a turn. My daughter didn't have her seatbelt on yet in the back. She went across the truck.
Oh, my God.
I've had this truck for 4 years. Even sometimes I still get seasick. Even though
Wait,
I'm driving
yeah,
the truck.
motion sick?
Motion sickness.
So weird.
Seasick.
Wait, you as the driver are getting motion sickness.
Sometimes.
How wobbly are you driving?
Because you hit potholes and stuff and that.
No.
and
No,
bumps.
I don't get
No, I
motion
don't
sick
get
if I'm
mo-
in control. If
No.
somebody
This
else
thing
is in
is so
control,
damn
I'll
big.
get
This
motion
truck
sick.
is big. I'll drive her little car, and I'll drive my big truck. I'll be, oh man, that was a lot of motion.
You and your vertigo,
my
though.
God.
Yeah, I get vertigo,
A whole
I
other
guess.
thing.
Maybe that's why.
Let's go to Matt on the line at 713-390-KRBE. It's Open Phone Friday. Oh, we're on the subject of driving in trucks. What do you have to say about that, Matt? Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are y'all?
Great.
We're good. Do you have a
Fantastic.
comment, sir, about what this subject matter?
Yeah,
Oh, I lost you.
Uh-oh.
One more time. Go aid.
Uh-oh.
can you hear me?
Yeah. You're starting to come back in now.
Maybe. Not really.
No.
He's on that CB radio.
What's he saying?
Might be better.
What do you want to say?
He is a truck
Two-lane
driver.
road.
Oh,
say
yes,
it
the
again.
two-lane road.
He's a truck driver.
Just recently, I got back from Big Springs, and we had a guy that ran off the road because he was trying to pass us in a no passing zone.
Oof. I hate when they do that crap.
And we all have cameras, so it's automatically their fault because, for one, it's in a no passing zone. He was trying to say he was going to sue us, this and that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your phone's
Yeah,
fine.
there it
Right.
is again. Yeah, we're getting every third
So
word.
he's a truck driver and just wanted to vent out other things to point out as us drivers against 18.
Yeah, they all have cameras now.
Right.
Everyone should have a camera.
You really should.
I'm surprised they don't
Protects you.
start putting them in the cars. You got the
Right.
rear view one when you go in
Let's-
reverse,
Right.
or whatever, the reverse camera. But why don't they have cameras built in already?
in the front. Okay, think about this. You know how every single television commercial is about we're going to sue those 18-wheelers and all that stuff. It's real aggressive. What if, from what Matt and Elizabeth are saying, what if the 18-wheeler drivers took out their own commercials against us? And it's an attorney for the 18-wheelers. Did you hit a civilian because they're a-holes who cut you off? We're going to sue them. And then they show hi, I'm Doug. I'm a truck driver. I got $1 million because the Corolla cut me off.
Yeah, it
We
probably
don't
could
see
be.
the opposite.
Did you crush a Prius? Well, we're going to crush them.
Crush them again.
Did you crush a Prius because it was their
This is
fault?
Texas. You don't have Priuses.
We're the law crusher.
With the law hawk and the doctor law and the push winners and all the people. That's what we are.
Hey, yo. Time for KRBE's Roula and Ryan show to tell you what's going down in H-Town.
I want to give some love to a really great organization, Christina Project. They are doing something really cool. If you want to teach your kids a lesson and actually really do good, they're doing a project called Coloring for a Cause. It's tomorrow. It's a free event for school-age children and their families. It's their 4th annual Give a Bag, Get a Bag, and it benefits kids' meals. It's happening tomorrow from 9 to 12 at the Gonzalez Law Firm. So what they're doing is kids can experience, volunteering. They color bags for kids' meals, which is where they provide these lunches to kids who otherwise are not going to get them. And then they hop onto an art bus and they fill a tote bag with supplies to use during spring break. Because think about it, all these kids that aren't going to school during spring break, the time off, they're not going to be eating. So this event really will help your kids learn to, do a little charitable work themselves. And that's tomorrow morning from 9 to 12 at the Gonzalez Law Group. And that's at 7151 Office City Drive in Houston. That's what's going down in H-Town.
And Ryan, we have listeners who wanted to Google fact check your comment on higher speed limits.
Yeah, there are more fatalities with higher speed limits.
Studies show that higher speed limits do not lead to more accidents. That is from state accident.
I know nothing about anything.
Those driving 10 miles an hour slower than the prevailing speed are 6 times as likely to be involved in an accident, and lowering speed limits cuts. What is that?
I mean, obviously, if you're going slower, you're not going to. That's why if you're on highways, you're going fast, you're going to die more.
Higher speeds make a crash more likely.
If you're on a bus timer and you get a wreck,
more deadly.
If you're in a collision on a bus timer compared to a collision on I-10, which one do you think you're going to die from? Chances are I-10 because you're probably going faster.
And also, can I make a note to the motorcycle guys and girls, mostly guys? Yesterday, there was a total stuntman or something on I-10. He had a death wish. He was flying. And when I tell you flying, you know how fast people go on I-10? He was flying past the speeders on his motorcycle and zooming
the crap out of me when they do
between the lanes. And I'm just like, oh my God, you have a death wish. Oh my God. Even my daughter was like, oh my God, that guy's crazy. I go, yes, I hide your eyes.
And that guy's going to end up dying. But, it's he's doing that, but he's going to have someone else cause the death, and they have to live with killing that person. That's what's the worst. I really don't give a crap about you if you're going that fast, reckless. It's the person that ends up hitting you. Their life
because you're going to wreck their life.
Right.
I saw a jackass on 290 this past Saturday. He was on one of those little crotch rocket motorcycles. He was easily going over 100 miles an hour, and he had both hands up in the air, not holding the steering wheels, and he was balancing. And I'm just like, you are going to kill yourself, and you're going to ruin somebody's life.
Totally. People, just be careful and be smart. Coming up next, Special K's got a prank call.
Yes, they've been ruining my life. These collections calls.
Is it the final chapter in the Chase Lounger?
The very last one.
Oh, my goodness.
The finale.
Collection.
Yeah.
Do they get paid for calling the wrong number over and over and over again? We're going to find out next on The Roula and Ryan Show.